Hello peeps, Gaza the hillbilly half with you today to talk to you. God, what a cold wet day. It really is horrible today. I've still got them doors that were blown off here, so I haven't done anything more to my truck, look, because it's everything covered in water here all the time. It's maddening. So we're going to get some bits for that today, hopefully, and fix these doors. But what we're going to talk about today is Christmas TV and Champagne Socialist TV. As you probably gathered, I love comedy and things like that of all different kinds. But have you noticed how the comedy that we see on our terrestrial channels is always taking the piss out of us, the working class? There's none. You know, when I was younger, there was Harry Enfield did a thing, Tim Nice But Dim, I think it was. Which was a Tory guy who had loads of money, like what's his name as well? He used to go loads of money, and there's a couple of characters like that. They were Tories, but you know what? This has switched round now. The Tim Nice But Dim, and the loads of money. You know where they are now? They're your civil servants now. They're your ones with they're the lottery wins every year for the wages, and. You don't see much about them on TV now. You don't see any comedy having a go at them, do you? You don't see having it of these presenters, these weirdo presenters, messing about with people. They're always having a go at us, the working class. And they hate our guts. They hate us with a passion. And the only comedy allowed is it has a go at us, taking the piss out of the poor people in society. That's how it is. You'll notice it at Christmas with all these comedy shows will come up. You watch. All these comedy shows will be like us all around a Christmas dinner taking the piss out of us by people who are wealthy. That's how life has always been. Now, I happen to like comedy and things like that, but I think it should be taking the piss out of everybody, not just one section of society. And that's what's happened. Comedy is supposed to be the big leveler in life where you have and dark times in war and things like that, there's black humour to get you out of that pit you're in when serious stuff is happening. That does happen in life, and that used to happen everywhere I worked on these hard grafting jobs. Black humour where you say you just nearly got killed for some reason. It used to happen regular on the forestry when I was working on the forestry. At least twice a week, something happened and you could have got killed. And the only way to get through it all was by laughing and making jokes about it. And then when you saw these people next time in the pub or whatever, do you remember that time that thing rolled over? Like one of my friends who sometimes watches my videos on here, Martin, when I was up the forestry in Havron, I rolled over that machine, that John Deere machine I was talking about. And I was just in one of them. Sometimes you're not in a very good mood. And that day, I wasn't in a very good mood. I couldn't get to the points of these trees to reverse up this bank. And if it was on a forestry road, and forestry road was cut in. So up the one side of this bank onto where the trees were fell, it was really steep and maybe 25 foot straight up. And then it went on where the road had been cut in, and then it went on to where the trees had been fell. And I could not get up there. I tried pulling the chains up there. I couldn't pull the chains up there because I was just sliding back down. I tried to reverse the machine to the top of the bank, and it would only go so far, and then pulling it out the back, and it was just not happening. And when you're pulling trees into a bank sideways, the tips snap off all the time. I was getting irate, my temper had gone, and I wasn't no fun to be around like that. My temper had gone. It happens to you sometimes. So I had this bright idea of winching myself up onto the top of this bank and pulling these trees across, which I used to winch myself everywhere. But this was right on the edge of this bank, and the trees had been fell across the top of the bank. So I winched myself up there, and this was a big old machine, mind. It's like a loading shovel, a John Deere 540 skidder it was. And I winched myself back up in there, and then I could just pull the rope out easy to these trees. And I pulled him to the back of the butt plate, and just as I started to turn back down over the bank onto the forestry road, the back wheel lifted in the air. And it went right over onto the blade, and it was literally on the verge of tipping over. And I got the trees on there then, which were being pulled by the points, and I thought, I'll just loose the winch off and then it'll come back down. It didn't. It went the opposite and rolled straight over the bank, rolled onto the forestry road, and I was upside down in the cab, and the battery had dropped onto the bonnet and was sparking off. It knocked me about a fair bit. Didn't tell the lads at the time. It really did knock me about in that cab, and I ended up upside down on the roof of the cab. And then, in the middle of all that, I had to pull off a battery cover to stop the batteries from shorting, because there was sparks everywhere. Anyway, lads got me out then. Fair play to them. After I'd been cursing all morning and sat to the side of the road, I was in a bit of shock, I got to say to you, because that's the only time I've actually rolled anything. And it was all on the forestry road, sat there, and the lads just started doing dark humour. And I'd taken the piss, really. And it perked me up. It straight away perked me up, because I was shaking quite a bit. The machine was okay. We rolled it back onto its wheels and it all worked okay and everything. But that was an example of dark humour, where the lads I was working with then, I wasn't in a very good mood. Then when I rolled it, I was quite in shock then. I don't think the lads realised I was in such shock then. And then through their taking the piss out of me and having a go, actually brought me out of it, and I was glad they did it. So thanks to them, I have to say, that's how it works, isn't it, in life? But what I was going to say, when you look at these things at Christmas, you notice how everybody they're taking the piss out is some lady with a bit of weight, or all these past comedies are like that. And it does get a bit wearing, doesn't it? Why don't they just pick on their side for a change, eh? About some of these people getting a lottery win for their wages every week. That would be a cracker, wouldn't it, eh? Can you imagine them all waiting there like dogs to be fed, with their little checks to be given? Just have my money. You know what I mean? When the rest of us haven't got anything, we're giving it away all the time. The rest of us in working class society are giving money constantly to the government. These fuckers ain't. These fuckers ain't giving any money. They have rich lawyers to get round it all. So this has gone a bit of a tangent again, like my normal videos, isn't it? Hey, I hope you liked the funny story yesterday. I know people probably think these aren't true. They are perfectly true. God, sun is here a bit today. Yeah, so that'll probably be the video for now. I don't know, I might put one up later, or some funny story or something if I remember it, but this is the one for today, because I've got a few things to do today, okay? So thanks for subscribing. Please comment, rate and subscribe underneath. Press that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me out a lot. So, ta-da, all the best, Gaz.